stayed in San Diego my whole life, went to college there, went in the Navy for 4 years. After I got out, I got a job in Riverside. And I was very much in the closet until I was 30, in the early 30s. Okay, and I had, as most people when they're coming out, massive depressions. And I had a big mental breakdown. I showed up at this PAC meeting, Professional Advisory Council, and there was a room full of gays and lesbians. And I was totally blown away. I mean, my God, there's other people. So I was decided to sort of participate, and that got me deeply involved. I mean, I went from one extreme to the other, being suicidally alone to being in everything, and then eventually in charge of everything. Political action, something, coalition for elections. You know, you always had to make up these funny sounding things that didn't use the G or L words. And so over the next several years, I was involved with PACE, and we actually started to get involved in local politics. By this time, AIDS is now out. And so our first goal was to get the city of Riverside to pass a non-discrimination ordinance for people who had HIV or AIDS. And that took us several months of work. So that was my first taste of victory, was getting the city council in Riverside. And there were not many cities in the state of California that had taken that action. There were 40 bills dealing with HIV and AIDS, and 39 of them were absolutely terrible. And so the gay and lesbian community and the HIV community decided we need to have a voice in Sacramento to deal with what's going on. So they created the Life Lobby, and it had two parts. One was dealing with HIV and one was LGBT. But the first several years were all dealing with the HIV bills because they kept being introduced. So even though we were able to defeat all of them, and next year, or 2 years later, they came back with more, and then more, and then more. So most of the initial work of the Life AIDS Lobby was dealing with stopping these horrible bills. And then I got an offer to go to work for the California Democratic Party to be in charge, co-charge of the Sacramento County. So I did that for a few months, and I made a reputation because I brilliantly helped the poor guy that was in charge of the office here in Sacramento and got myself known. So that only lasted for a few months. Well, that year was the year right after that the first lesbian was elected to the legislature, Sheila Kuehl, and then Carol Migden was elected. So during the 5 years that I was there in the legislature, as each year passed, there were more gays and lesbians. Oh, I remember one of the high points of my life at that point was when Sheila Kuehl was elected and went up. She was in charge of the assembly, president pro tem of the assembly. First time a woman and first time a lesbian, of course. So I went in up in the balcony and sat in for her ceremony. And as you may guess or know already, I'm a big crier, big time crier. And that's all I did. We started gathering here, literally right here in this patio, and had our first meetings. And the goal was to, once again, support our friends, eventually to get our family elected to offices. To become a voice, to be heard, and to be recognized, so that all the Democratic electeds, if they wanted to get elected, they would come to us and ask to be interviewed and seek our endorsement. So being the sort of obnoxious, pushy person that I am, I was determined to grow the club. And that meant going out and assaulting people. So, and this, remember, I was still working in the legislature. So I went around to every gay or lesbian staffer, made them join, We managed to grow the club to what became the largest Democratic club, the largest Stonewall Democratic club in the nation, and the largest Democratic club in California. I always did membership the whole time I was involved, and that of course is still my pride and joy. So the one thing I've kept on to is Stonewall. Unfortunately, like so many things, you change one of the Supreme Court justices and it's gone. Or you change one of the Supreme Court justices and this new religious freedom becomes more important than you and I, our rights to take care of the people that we love. So just like the Republican Nazis right now, they've got this new thing of religious freedoms. That's why you hear all these people talking about it, Trump and especially Cruz, that it infringes on my religious beliefs to have to employ, work with, recognize, help, assist, serve gay and lesbian entities. There are 50 states where gay and lesbian couples can get married. There are 27 states where they can all get fired. So until gays and lesbians have employment protection and housing protection, we're only halfway there. Because sure, you can get married, but I'm also going to fire you. And I'm not going to sell you things, and. So never give up. We will win because of who we are. Human, decent, friendly, helpful, caring, to say nothing of fabulous.